Chris, can you speak to the hidden costs of owning a home on the shore? Like costs that if someone had never owned a shore home before, they wouldn't know
It's not very different from actually probably having a primary home. I think that there's some things that maybe aren't thought of. Perfect example, like if you have aluminum siding or aluminum wrapping on like your windows and stuff like that, that stuff's going to go out faster because of the fact of just the salt air against the metal. So that actually can get worn out quicker. So you can have those issues with that. Seals on windows actually can go faster down at the shore. They take a beating from the winds in the off seasons. And so those are some things that can actually get beaten up a little bit quicker. Same with your roofs, because we get a lot of high winds coming right off the water. So those are some, I wouldn't say hidden costs, but sometimes things that you don't think about from your primary home because they don't wear out as fast. So that's something that certainly I would be aware of there.
So it sounds like what you're saying is that like the maintenance is a little bit more expensive than if you had something on the mainland or in more inland.
Yes.
So how would you say that like maintenance, utilities, and taxes compare to inland properties? Is it like wildly more expensive, or like how would you compare?
No, I would
those
not
two?
say that it's wildly more expensive. No,
Okay.
not in any way. No, it kind of depends on the given area naturally, but I wouldn't say that it's any more expensive. Taxes in some facets, in some areas, it can actually be cheaper than where your primary home is,
Yeah.
for different reasons. But no, I wouldn't say it's any real different.
Do you ever run into a buyer who is like unpleasantly surprised with how much maintenance they have to do because it's their first time owning on a beach?
No, I would actually say I come across more people that are pleasantly surprised by the tax differential that how low it is at the beach compared to their primary home. One of the things that you have to be aware of is that you are going to be required, if you have a loan, you're going to be required to have flood insurance. So you have to remember that you're going to have flood insurance when you start doing your projections on what your billing is going to look like. Some people feel that the flood insurance are going to be a lot higher than they anticipated when they actually end up getting their flood insurance. So those are kind of like some more pleasant surprises. I know you asked me about negative ones, but no, not really. I think it kind of depends on what you're getting into, and people tend to realize because of the salt air that there's going to be, and moisture. I mean, that's something you got to really be cognizant of too down here with moisture. If you're looking at a property that has stucco siding on it, there's different tests to be done because there's different risks that are involved with the moisture getting in and behind like the stucco and everything else like that. So that could potentially prove to be problematic if you don't have the proper testing done on the property when purchasing. That could be a major expense that you were not expecting to have.
You said that people sometimes are pleasantly surprised by the
Yeah.
taxes. Are New Jersey property taxes lower than other, like a significant amount of other states?
No, I wouldn't say that they are. I just think that for the towns, people feel that for the price point that they're going to be purchasing a property, and they would expect the taxes to be a lot higher. I don't think it's anything where I think Jersey's probably pretty much on par with most states, and New Jersey tends to be a higher tax state. But I don't think the property taxes are really too out of balance from where they're supposed to be.
Okay, cool. Do you, let's see, I'm trying to think. On the topic of like maintenance and taxes, are there any other surprise expenses that people run into as first-time shore buyers?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a surprise. I think one of the things that a lot of folks don't remember to do or don't necessarily feel that they have to worry about doing is like turning off the water and draining the water in the off seasons. That if you're not going to be here for an extended period of time, it can be brutally cold here. Yes, we have the warmth from the ocean, but the winds can cause it to be brutally cold. And so many of these homes just have crawl spaces, so they're elevated off the ground, but the pipes aren't protected. So there's times that you'll drive up and down if it's a really, really bad cold winter. As you start to get into, if we have a break in the winter and then it gets really cold again, you'll see ice coming out of people's homes. it's coming out of the crawl spaces, and that means that they've had pipes burst. So that's something, if their first time, it's their first year, maybe second season, and the first year was a mild winter, that they didn't think about that, or they thought they may have had more time in the season, and then they ended up not. That's a big surprise. So, I mean, if you're leaving for an extended period of time, shut the water off, drain them, drain the lines. It's just better to be safe.
Okay, cool.
Yep. And don't turn the heat off.